It's a library book haul. Hey guys, it's Lisa. Welcome back to the channel. Okay, full disclosure, I'm filming this on my phone instead of my fancy camera because I did all my editing on my son's laptop and he broke it. So I thought I'm just gonna try and film a quick video on my iPhone and see how it turns out, because then I can upload it directly from here and skip the whole, skip all the crap. So let's try it. Anyway, so let's try to make this quick. I've been to the library recently, and first of all, I hope all of you have been well and are enjoying your summers and have been reading. And if you're reading anything, I hope it's something fun or interesting. So I'm trying to stay out of the bookstore a little bit, not because I'm on a book buying ban or I'm not afraid of a good haul, and I love watching haul videos. I know there's the whole consumerism thing, but you know what? Reading is one of those hobbies I like to spend money on, and I'm okay with that. However, I have an awesome library. So I also hope I'm looking at the right spot here. Anyway, I have an awesome library. So I went recently and picked up some good books, and I just thought I'd talk about some of them. I'm currently reading, let's just talk about the first one I'm reading. Madame Restell by Jennifer Wright, and the subtitle is The Life, Death, and Resurrection of Old New York's Most Fabulous, Fearless, and Infamous Abortionist. So all these books, this book is nonfiction. However, oh my god, this reads like a novel. It is so good. So I've only had this out of the library for 2 days. I'm over halfway through. Like, I cannot put this down. So this is set in like the early 1800s, like 1830s, 1840s, and it's all about this woman who goes by Madame Restell and how she fashioned herself from living in poverty in New York. She immigrated from England and found herself as a single mother and trying to provide. She was for her daughter. She was a professional seamstress, and at that time, like, that's what women did, and it was really competitive, and wages were poor. I mean, it's fascinating. So she starts learning how to compound medicine from one of her neighbors, who was from an apothecary, like a preamble to the modern day pharmacy, and she kind of learned from him. And then somewhere along the line, she started just fashioned herself as a doctor, made up this whole background, and was very skilled. And she started providing women's health care, like an early day OBGYN. So, and she was a badass, like a total character, like wealthy. I mean, she made something out of her life, and this book is just kind of reintroducing her to, the future and how this whole profession kind of began. There were other women and other men too providing women's health care and abortion in New York at the time, but she was like infamous. Like, she served time in jail. She was always in court. She paid people off. Like, it's an amazing story. So as you can tell, I'm smiling. I can't wait to just finish tearing through this. It's so good, and the writing is so good too. So that's Madame Restell by Jennifer Wright. Highly recommend if you are a feminist and interested in women's health and women's rights. Like, this is happening before women were even allowed to vote, right? Like stuff like that. Women were thought of as lesser people, smaller minds, and were only there to basically serve men. So, I mean, that was the thought of the time, right? So, I mean, it's really talking about the challenges that women went through at the time and basically what we still go through today. So Highly recommend. This is definitely going to be a 5-star read. All right, the next one I picked up, and I haven't read or started any of these other ones, is The Girl on the Velvet Swing, Sex, Murder, and Madness at the Dawn of the 20th Century by Simon Batts. So again, this is another nonfiction. It's, I guess, true crime. And this is an interesting story about this teenager, and I'm assuming this is her, who was murdered in early 1900s, and she was like a chorus girl, and she was, I think, up and coming and getting to be well known. And she had this affair with this married man in, I believe, in New York, also in New York, and he was a well-known architect. He had a firm that designed a lot of the kind of iconic buildings that were built at that time in New York, and she ended up dead. And so it's apparently this sensational trial that happened, and I don't know anything about these characters yet, or who she was, or who, you know, Mr. White was, the architect, but I think this is going to be my next read after I finish Madame Restell. I'm going to read this one here, The Girl on the Velvet Swing, and I'll let you know what I think about it. Okay, continuing our feminist raging is Invisible Women, Data, Bias in a World Designed by Men, designed for men, and by men, but for men, by Carolyn Criado Perez. So this is, again, a nonfiction, and it is really about how our worlds are set up for men, from everything from how we use our computers, women's health care, you know, all kinds of aspects of our life are designed for a one-size-fits-all approach, and that one-size-fits-all is always the male. So it's gets into you know, the gender equality in today's society. And anyway, yeah, I saw this and I was like, oh, that sounds really interesting, and I'm gonna give it a go. So that is Invisible Women by Carolyn Perez. All right, the next one, also following a notification, is a memoir, and it's called Stolen by Elizabeth Gilpin. Now, I think I was kind of like in the true crime section when I found most of these books. So maybe not the feminist one, like the Invisible Women and Madame Perez. That was not true crime, but this one is as well. And this is a memoir by this woman who was snatched out of her bed as a teenager and taken to one of those boarding schools for women, like for girls who were like falling in with the wrong crowds and rebellious, and they used to like, basically it was almost like jail, and they, you know, isolated them. I saw a documentary a long time ago about these girls that were taken away to these camps away from their families, and had no contact with their family, and they were basically, their family paid them to smuggle them out of their beds at night, and they just disappeared. And it was kind of like tough love prison camp, but apparently it was awful. And she writes her story about, you know, living through this and surviving it, and just the abuse that she endured at this, you know, so-called boarding school. So apparently it's a thing. So I'm looking forward to this. It kind of spoke to me. And again, I'm pretty sure maybe on Netflix or something a long time ago, a documentary about a similar kind of story. And so I thought this sounded interesting, and it doesn't look like that long of a book. So yeah, I thought I'd give it a shot. All right, and the last book I have on my list is The Killers of the Flower Moon, The Osage Murders and the Birth of the FBI by David Gran. This is a popular book. Like, this has a little book club sticker on it from my library, and I think they've made a movie out of this, and I'm pretty sure it has Leonardo DiCaprio in it. I'm not sure, I haven't seen it, but I've been kind of eyeing this up for a little while. I don't know if you've heard of it or not, or if you've seen the movie, but it's really about, again, set in Oklahoma in the 1920s, and it's about the Native American band in this county in Oklahoma that had oil under their feet in their land, and basically what happened to that group of people, and murders I'm thinking happened, and how probably they were displaced. I don't know. I like going into these things a little bit blind, or a lot blind. That's kind of all I really know. And it says the birth of the FBI, so obviously, you know, a government wing was, I guess, formed to kind of help deal with this. I don't know, but I've been kind of eyeing this up for a while, so it's something I want to get to. So yeah, Killers of the Flower Moon by David Gran. So those are my library books, and they all sound really interesting to me. They're all nonfiction, but they're not boring. These things, like especially the one I'm reading right now, Madame Restell, this reads like a novel. Like, I can't put it down. So I'm looking forward to all of these. I think they all sound really cool, and yeah, lucky to have access to a great library. I encourage you to also visit your local libraries and support them, and send out some books. You might find a really good read. And another reason I don't think I finished my sentence is why I'm staying out of the bookstore is because I'm just frankly out of room. My bookcase is overrunneth. I have books stacked up on a chair in front of it. Oh, my place is too small. I don't even really have room for another bookcase. So I need to maybe purge. I hate getting rid of my books, especially if I haven't read them. It's a thing. So anyway, guys, I'll let you go. Like I said, I hope you've all been well and are having a great summer, and I'll be back. I'll let you know what I think of these books when I get to them. Okay? All right. Bye.